This week and last on Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke, we take a moment to look back before venturing forward. Over the past year, we've been privileged to publish 44 individual stories. Each guest has spent an average of 7 weeks working one-on-one with Beyond Stillness to reflect on wisdom gained through their recovery and craft a story to inspire fellow survivors. In this season of Thanksgiving, we've compiled a snippet of recovery wisdom or gratitude from each guest. Their courage to pause, reflect, and share their journey speaks volumes about the strength of the human spirit. It's through their vulnerability and resilience that others find hope, connection, and healing. I'm deeply honored to live and work in your presence and humbled by the Beyond Stillness community that has flourished in the past year. Together, we offer our experiences to uplift and inspire one another. As Chris Wilder said in his story, we are part of something greater. For that, and for each of you, I'm profoundly grateful. Thank you for joining us for part 3 of the 2024 Thanksgiving special.
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke. Stroke offers a powerful, life-changing shift in perspective. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. Beyond Stillness offers a moment of pause for storytelling and reflection. Ultimately, we create a welcoming environment that reveres the moment beyond stroke's paralysis. Still moments unite humanity and divinity. I'm your host, Molly Bucola. As we begin today, we take a moment of pause to stop and give thanks for the people and experiences that have furthered our recovery and encouraged us to be and become our inspired selves. And we give thanks. Now, part 3 of the 2024 Thanksgiving special.
The ICU became my home for 20 days. The sterile environment with its constant BP monitors and vigilant medical staff was a place of both physical recovery and profound personal insight. Every day, I was subjected to neurological tests by young medical fellows. What city are we in? What is your name? Can you spell your name backwards? These questions, though repetitive, were a crucial part of my recovery process. My room, small and narrow like a prison cell, had white walls that only amplified the clinical coolness. Yet, it was here, amidst the cables and wires, that I encountered the raw humanity of my own existence. I learned to surrender and accept my vulnerability. The drive to stay connected to my work, even from a hospital bed, initially seemed paramount. But as the days passed, I realized the absurdity of clinging to professional ambitions while battling for my life. God, in His mysterious ways, took the wishes I voiced to the group in somatic therapy quite literally. I told the group I wanted to be open-minded and connected. The next day, I suffered a brain aneurysm rupture that led to a craniotomy where they literally opened my head. This medical crisis forced me into a state of stillness and introspection. In the hospital, I confronted my vulnerability and was forced to deepen my body-mind connection. There is a stark irony in this situation.
These experiences have redefined how I live every day, ensuring that I turn up in the world as someone who embraces community, growth, and the power of asking for help. And for that, I am forever grateful. Including others in my recovery took courage to admit that I couldn't do it all on my own. And in doing so, I opened the door to a level of healing I never thought possible. Stroke is the best thing that happened to me. In fact, that's what I titled my book. The traumatic experience kicked me into gear. I no longer think my situation is everyone else's fault. I take responsibility for myself. I conduct research and make my own choices and commit to putting forth the extra effort. And all this led me to a community of thriving people who do the same. Post-traumatic growth inspired me to conduct research on fellow stroke survivors. I interviewed others who declared that stroke was the best thing that happened to them and eventually published a book on such. Now I often speak publicly on stroke recovery and host a weekly podcast called Recovery After Stroke. These are the physical manifestations of my new mindset, one that is open, growth-oriented, and deeply rooted in the power of community. These lessons and achievements haven't just stayed within the confines of my recovery. They've guided me in my daily life, shaping how I show up and participate in the world. I'm more present, more engaged, and more willing to lean on others. The way I interact with my family, friends, and even my business has transformed. I'm now someone who values collaboration over going at it alone, who seeks opportunities to grow alongside others rather than in isolation. I am thankful for the unexpected way that stroke became the best thing that happened.
That was the beginning. I've participated in at least 5 events each year for the past 10 years dressed as a superhero. I've participated in all kinds of events from stair climbs to 5Ks, half marathons, social events, and fundraisers. During the solar eclipse, I wore the Batman outfit, the Dark Knight, taking a selfie with the eclipse above my head. Every time I dress up like that, I feel like a superhero again. And I am. I believe in myself. I know that diligence and how can I attitude has helped me reach great heights. I dress as a superhero because I am a superhero. I show up in public events, you're reminded that you are a superhero. You've been through adversities. We all have, and you have the power to triumph. Just ask yourself, how can I? Just commit to a daily practice and surround yourself with people who believe in you also. A suggestion I'd have to others is not only to do you need therapy, but you also need professional counseling. Your close family members could benefit from counseling also. It changes you physically, but mentally is where you need to really focus on most, but you need in counseling to complement it. People are excited and joyful and supportive when I'm in my superhero costumes. I wear the costumes to give back to the therapist who gave me my life back. I also wear them to remind people that they have control over their health and recovery. I return to RHI in costume and give talks to therapists and stroke survivors. I say, I can do what I do because of what you do. Their support and challenge is life-changing. Yours can be too.
One of the most difficult parts of this whole process is the reminder that we really aren't really in complete control of our lives. I do believe God has a plan. He's the one in control. There's something comforting in the surrender. I'm the worker, not the boss. God is my boss. When I look back on the day of my stroke, I see life-saving moments. I truly feel blessed. I've also learned a lot about my life through my recovery. I see glimpses of God's plan. I am more thankful, more grateful, more aware, more kind. I don't fret over the small things as much. It is clear to me that we are all here as workers, generously offering our talents to each other, and God is in control of the rest.
Alex taught me everything about triking and connecting with others. I now got to share this sense of freedom with a friend. I loved life again. Fantastic. I started dropping weight, and 18 months later, I started to talk. The physical activity pumped blood to my brain, oxygenating my whole body. That helped solve almost everything. I wasn't in formal therapy, but trike riding exercised my legs, breathing, core, balance, mind-body connection, and forced me to practice speech. I wish I would have met Alex a month after my first stroke. His care, guidance, companionship, and introduction to trikes propelled my recovery and changed my life. After training with Alex for 3 years, he and my friend Tom were blown away about what trikes and riding do for me, my health, recovery, and life. And so was I. They encouraged me to share it with others. So I found Spokes Fighting Strokes to show people that with a little effort, everyone can significantly change their lives. I hope to reach every stroke survivor and show them recovery is possible. For the past 11 years, I've been driving my motorhome throughout the country with a trailer in tow. I get to combine my love of driving, new experiences, and trike riding with two causes that have altered my life. My whole life is devoted to raising awareness of HHT and strokes in general, while also sharing my passion for trikes and their key role in my recovery and the role it can play in those living with effects of stroke, Parkinson's, traumatic brain injuries, along with many other health circumstances that limit mobility. I coordinate with recovery centers throughout the country. When I roll into town, they host an event where I get to share my passion for trikes. I unload 19 different adaptive trikes from my trailer for people to test ride. More often than not, people get hooked. They, like me, find a sense of freedom and mobility that they haven't experienced in a long time, maybe ever. There's a facial expression we've coined as the trike grin. People grin from ear to ear when they ride. It's life-changing. Really, that first ride, the sense of freedom and newfound ability, is life-changing. And it just keeps getting better. Consistent rides over time progress recovery for many. The blood flow, blood pumps to the brain and oxygenates the body. It's a form of therapy, exercising range of motion, dexterity, movement. It strengthens the core and helps balance. There's a forced mind connection. There's usually a social element too. Like I said, I have 19 different types of adaptive trikes. There's got to be one out there for almost anyone. All in all, looking back on my life, I've been through a lot. Through the ringer for sure. And sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before climbing to the top. That night I woke with my heart pumping. I knew I had to make a change. My first step was looking for a way forward. I tried to ride a bike. I fell. I bought a granny trike with a basket and all, which led to my first adaptive trike, which led me to a nerve-wracking meetup, which led me to Alex, which led me, well, to you listening today. I wanted to be and still want to be like Alex. And here I am. My hope is that when I interact with people, I too will offer them care, guidance, companionship, while also introducing them to a trike that will propel their recovery and change their lives.
Johnny. The Stroke Awareness Foundation mission is to save lives and improve outcomes of stroke survivors. Through awareness and advocacy, we educate hospitals, help certify stroke centers. I wholeheartedly believe in our mission and am proud to be part of the charge to raise stroke awareness. It is quite possible that one of their campaigns taught Kate what to do when she saw the signs of my stroke when I sat on the couch across from her on March 6, 2021. It's very possible that the work of the Stroke Awareness Foundation saved my life. Now I'm grateful to be part of the team. I truly believe that we are a sum greater than our parts. My life experience has taught me that sometimes 1 and 1 doesn't come to 2. When I practice diligently, face difficult and join others on a mission for the greater good, big things can happen. I don't like the odds or play the odds. We make our own success. People, even professionals, told me I wouldn't have much functionality. If you look at the odds, they say I shouldn't be doing as well as I am. If you look at the odds, they say I shouldn't have been the lead guitar player in the major punk rock band MDC. If you look at statistics, saving one life isn't much. But to me, one is a part of many. One is a part of something greater. I'm a part of something greater. You are a part of something greater. We together are something greater. My hope for you, my fellow stroke survivor, is that you will continue to work also hard as it may be, and regain as much functionality as you possibly can over the course of your journey.
I just turned 70. Looking back on everything, and especially my stroke 33 years ago, I've grown and adapted. The stroke greatly changed my life, but the true me has been here all along. I approached my recovery and daily life with positivity and gratitude. The support and love my family, friends, and God have offered me over the past several years have helped me stay optimistic and full of joy. I ask, I trust, and I believe. When you and I first met, Molly, we discussed what I wanted to call my story. I said positive resilience without even thinking about it. Those two words were given to me. I didn't come up with them. They were like the ones in the past. God gave them to me. I am truly grateful. In looking back, I honestly believe that it was because of the support and love of family and friends, of my positive resilience that God kept replenishing, and all the little miracles that God worked throughout my life.
My therapist, Vivian, encouraged me to start ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. This works by first acknowledging and accepting my feelings and thoughts, then committing to effective action. Each step of the process is helpful for me. Acceptance. First, accept the feelings. The feelings are so overwhelming that it's hard to ignore them. Instead, I've learned to feel them, name them, and mindfully hold them. If I'm overwhelmed by sadness and don't want to talk with anyone or leave my room, I think, wow, the sadness set in today. I feel heavy and depressed. I'm going to name it and feel it. Then I know what to do. Next step, direction. Once I acknowledge and accept my feelings in that moment, I think of one step in a positive direction that will push me forward. Warning, do not rehash the past. That's off limits in this direction stage. So if I am sad and don't want to talk with anyone, maybe one step I can take in a positive direction is to get out in the sun and go for a walk. Remember, I just want to pull covers over my head at this point, so I have to push myself in a positive direction. That's what comes to mind. Get out and go for a walk. The last step to ACT is commitment. Commit and follow through with the positive direction I choose. So in this case, it would be getting out of bed, dressing, then leaving the apartment to walk up the street in the sun. Once I'm in the sun, moving my body in fresh air, I often forget about my depression and I can go on with my day. It's such a simple process with powerful results. A couple of years ago, while reflecting on my stroke experience, I flipped my depressed thoughts on their head. I wrote a piece called The Stroke of Opportunity. This all started when I read books about other stroke survivors sharing their experience. On a good day, I asked myself, how can my stroke turn into a gift or an opportunity? I could share my writing with other stroke survivors. I could create a stroke survivor meetup. I am no longer a workaholic. Now I have the opportunity to focus on what is essential and say no to what is not. Stroke offered me an opportunity to slow down and evaluate my priorities. It gave me an opportunity to shift my lifestyle and life. Now I try to focus on the little things that give me encouragement.
I'm pushing myself to live in the now, taking each day, each new experience, each breath in and out with a sense of wonder and awe. I'm working towards my linguistics degree at Western Washington University purely because I like languages. I've given away or sold almost all of my goods. Now I live in a studio apartment. I've found the less that I have, the less I feel caught in the endless loop. My plan is to move to Japan for a while, then to Spain. I want to experience what it's like to not just be a tourist, but a resident, living day to day, experiencing new things, enough for them to become old things. Enough to challenge me to observe the old things as they are, without thoughts, until they become new. There's this very beautiful walk that I take through the Arboretum to reach the university campus. There are lush and green ferns everywhere in the deep and cool forest. This time of year, the leaves are turning colors and the evening sun shines beautifully through the leaves onto the ferns and mushrooms dotting the forest floor. Every piece of nature is growing and flourishing in its own way, and their time is limited too. All this talk of wonder and awe might lead one to believe that I don't get down, or stressed, or depressed. I do, often, but even in the darkest of days, I always know there's a light somewhere up ahead, even if I can't see it now. There's beauty in the darkness as well. Dark days can be fertile ground for creative opportunities, loving relationships, and allowing our seed to take root. You can hear the whistle of the wind as you ride this train of life, and the light will come, even if you can't see it just yet. One of my last memories before the coma was trying to work through the endless code loop of the lights in the hospital hallway. It's time to break that loop. My stroke gave birth to a new life. Literally, as I regained consciousness, I had an opportunity to see and feel things as they were, no thoughts, no worries. I just observed items in my hospital room, people and their expressions, my own bodily sensations. I saw previous moments in my life as snapshots. At one point, the doctor said my progress was unusual and that I needed a different type of care. He was right. I'm not made for this world's endless loop. My mom's passing and my stroke gave birth to the unique path that I follow. It's not always the easy path, but it's my path. I chose to create, to say yes and to life. My hope for every stroke survivor is that you find a way to say yes and to new experiences, grow in new and unexpected ways, to find life and joy in the details, the daffodil that grows between cracks in the sidewalk, the smell of the earth after heavy rain, the sight of an unusual bird, or the sound of the bees buzzing merrily in the afternoon sun.
Ooh, thank you, Aaron Hatches. And thanks to Beatrice Fiechler, Bill Gassiamis, John Loomis, Aline Sheets, Dan Zimmerman, Chris Wilder, Sue Phipps, and Barry North for contributing to this Thanksgiving special. Storytelling empowers us to share our experiences in a way that invites others to reflect on their own. In closing, we offer reflection questions as an opportunity to spark dialogue with yourself, friends, family, or fellow stroke survivors. In a moment, I will read questions aloud. You can also find them written in the podcast episode description. Community conversation prompts. While reflecting upon your recovery, for whom are you grateful? Why? How could you show or tell them about your gratitude this week?
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org. Another way to support is to like, share, or subscribe to our weekly show. Again, thank you for devoting time and space for this week's episode of Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke.
Thank you for listening to Part 3 of the 2024 Thanksgiving Special. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. As we close this episode of Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke, let's carry forward the wisdom and gratitude shared by our guests. Their reflections remind us that recovery is not just about healing the body, but also rediscovering purpose, connection, and hope. As we close today's episode, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Honor how far you have come, and know that together we are part of something greater. Thank you for being part of this journey, and for helping us build a community that celebrates resilience and shared strength. If today's episode inspired you, consider sharing it with someone who might need a reminder that they are not alone. And consider donating to Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke.
If you are part of the stroke community and have a story you'd like to share on the show, please contact us. Email molly@beyondstillness.org.